Have you ever been on a team that just clicks? And on the flip side, have you been on one where everything feels like a struggle? Well, today we're going to dig into a tool called CliftonStrengths that might just explain why. It's all built on one simple, powerful idea. Focusing on what's right with people instead of what's wrong is the secret to unlocking some seriously incredible potential.
All right, here's our quick roadmap. We'll start with the big idea of unlocking team potential. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of how the assessment actually works. We're going to bust some myths about why this is not just another personality test. After that, we'll look at the real-world payoff, the data. And finally, we'll wrap up with what makes your profile so unique.
Okay, let's jump right in. Section 1. Unlocking team potential. This all starts with a core challenge that I think every single one of us has experienced.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? There are those dream teams where everything just flows. It's almost effortless. And then there are the others, where every single task feels like you're wading through mud. So, what's the secret? Well, it all begins with a simple but really powerful shift in perspective.
And this is it. This one question from Dr. Donald Clifton, the guy who basically founded strengths-based psychology. He asked, what would happen if we studied what was right with people instead of what was wrong with people? I mean, think about that. Instead of spending all our time and energy trying to fix our weaknesses, what if we just identified our natural talents and poured our energy into making those even better? That's the whole foundation.
So Section 2, how does this actually work? How do you go from these sort of natural, raw talents to having real, concrete strengths?
It's a really simple three-step process. First, you take the assessment online. It's about 30 minutes with 177 pairs of statements. You just pick the one that sounds more like you. Next, you get your results. This is the cool part. You get a unique ranking of 34 talent themes with a big spotlight on your top 5. And finally, you use your report, which is full of personalized insights to help you intentionally develop those natural talents into true strengths.
A great way to think about these 34 themes is like your talent DNA. They're not just labels. They describe your most natural recurring patterns of how you think, feel, and behave. The assessment gives you a language to finally explain what you've probably always known you do best.
To make this even clearer, those 34 themes are sorted into 4 big categories, or domains. Executing themes are all about how you make things happen. Influencing themes are how you take charge and persuade others. Relationship building is how you create and nurture strong bonds. And strategic thinking is how you absorb and analyze the world around you. This framework is awesome because it helps you see not just what you're good at, but how you contribute.
Okay, on to Section 3. And this is a really important one because we need to debunk some common myths. This is not just another personality test.
This is probably the #1 question people ask, after taking countless quizzes online, from the serious ones to the what kind of bread are you, it's fair to wonder, is this just one more to add to the pile? And the short answer is a big fat no.
So here's the key difference. Most personality tests want to classify you, to put you in a box and label your traits. CliftonStrengths, on the other hand, is a performance tool. Its goal isn't to label you, but to give you a personalized roadmap to maximize your potential. It's about what you can do, not just a psychological label.
Now, this brings up another really common fear. You get your results. You look at your top 5, and maybe it's all influencing and executing themes. But there's not a single blue relationship-building theme. And that little voice in your head goes, oh no, am I bad with people? Am I deficient somehow?
Absolutely not. And this is one of the most powerful insights of the whole system. Your other themes just find different ways to get to the same goal. For instance, someone with the input theme, that's a strategic one, might build fantastic relationships because they're amazing at collecting and remembering important details about people. Or someone with the woo theme, for winning others over, builds them through charm and making instant connections. You're not deficient, you're just differently effective.
All right, Section 4. Let's talk about the payoff. The theory is great, but does this stuff actually work? Let's look at the data. The promise is really simple. When you get individuals and teams operating from a place of strength, the impact isn't just a warm, fuzzy feeling. It's tangible. It's measurable. And according to decades of Gallup research, it's incredibly powerful for the bottom line.
I mean, just look at these stats from Gallup.
Teams that focus on strengths see 23% higher employee engagement. They get an 18% boost in performance. And check this out, they can have up to 73% lower attrition. These are not small tweaks. These are total game changers.
And let's zero in on that retention number for a minute. An employee who gets to use their strengths every day is 29% more likely to stay with their company for the next year. In today's competitive job market, that is a huge advantage.
So we've seen the team benefits. But now for our final section. Let's bring it all back to you. This is about discovering what makes you unique and how that can be your personal blueprint for success.
It's so important to embrace what makes you different. For example, some themes like achiever, responsibility, and learner are super common. Others like command or self-assurance are much more rare. But here's the key. Common doesn't mean better, and rare doesn't mean best. There is no right profile. The goal isn't to wish for different talents, it's to master the unique ones you already have.
So what's the bottom line? CliftonStrengths gives you and your team a shared language, a data-backed way to stop obsessing over weaknesses and start maximizing what makes each person powerful. It's about shifting teams away from conflict and toward real collaboration. And that leaves us with one last question to think about. What could you and your team really achieve if you were empowered to focus only on what you do best?